Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
The Rays entered the 2017 season hoping Chris Archer could lead the way for the rotation. And so far, he has delivered, with Tampa Bay winning all 4 of Archer's starts. Tonight will be the toughest test to date as the Rays arrive in the Charm City to face Manny Machado and the AL East leading Orioles. Coming off a 4-2 homestand outside the division in which the Rays met the first place Detroit Tigers in the Central and the first place Houston Astros out of the West. Tonight the Rays begin a road trip against the first place Baltimore Orioles back inside their own division. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays 10-10 to start the new year. It's a different offensive ball club. They can score runs, and one of the reasons is not only celebrating a birthday today, but the American League Player of the Week, Steven Souza Jr.
And for Steven Souza Jr., it's been much more than just this past week. All season long, he's been so consistent. He's only had 2 games that he hasn't reached base safely. And right now, swinging the bat obviously very, very well, getting the award. 7-game hitting streak. 4 of the 7 games have been multi-hit games. He's using the whole field, especially when he gets the ball airborne. Right field all the way over to left field. That missile of a home run off the foul pole yesterday. Steven Souza Jr. swinging the bat very, very well. A ton of confidence going for number 20. And for Chris Archer, how about the start to his season? Most important numbers for Chris Archer. 4 starts, 4 team wins. His record, obviously a perfect 2-0, ERA 3.20. Had to work hard in his last start and didn't end the way that he wanted it to. So you know that he's motivated to go out there tonight, once again within the division on the road, and have a big night. Power fastball, power slider.
So the Rays, who were beaten in the final game of their homestand by the Houston Ball Club, counting on Archer to get off on the right foot here in Baltimore on this 3-city road trip. It will be Ubaldo Jimenez, the veteran right-hander, to oppose the Rays tonight as we get underway on a cool and rain-threatening evening. Back with all the action in a moment. and the Orioles square off at Camden Yards, Oriole Park. Meeting for the first time in the opening game of this 3-game series. Take a quick look at the starting lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Corey Dickerson preparing to lead off. He'll be followed by Kevin Kiermaier and Evan Longoria. Brad Miller hits cleanup in front of Steven Souza Jr. and Logan Morrison. Tim Beckham, Shane Peterson, and Derek Norris rounding out the lineup for the Rays.
And taking the mound tonight for the Baltimore Orioles is going to be right-hander Ubaldo Jimenez, making his 4th start of the season, coming off his best 7 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball on 2 hits against the Cincinnati Reds.
And the first pitch of this game is tapped foul. Strike 1 underway here at 6 minutes past the hour. 56 degrees here with the wind at 15 miles per hour out of the northeast. The weather forecast has been calling for rain throughout the day and afternoon.
Not exactly how Wellington Castillo wanted to start this game off. A little line drive right off the kneecap.
Especially on a cool night such as this one. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
You know it must be cool out there because you look around the ballpark here and you wonder if they forgot to open the gates.
And those who are here preparing for the weather.
I see you have. You've got the layers.
It's very important.
It is very important. And this is the first year that I've actually bought in. I'm tired of my hand going numb in the 4th.
Well, the Rays and the Orioles happy that it's not raining now because the weather forecast was not promising at all. Had these two clubs looking at future dates and potential open dates. Weather supposed to extend through tomorrow here, and again a significant threat of rain. There's a high fly ball deep into right field, and that ball is out of here to start this game. Corey Dickerson, another leadoff home run, powers a 3-1 pitch out of here, his 5th home run of the year, and the Rays take the early lead.
Well, it was just a few days ago that we saw Corey Dickerson do the same thing to Mike Fiers at Tropicana Field, almost off the back wall right down the right field line, and he works a really nice at-bat here against Jimenez and finally gets a hanger out over the plate, a misplaced fastball, not a lot on it, and that ball was punished.
Well, his 3rd career leadoff home run. He had one against the Yankees and then the one you referenced against Houston. And now this one. Kevin Kiermaier fouls the pitch back. With that home run, Dickerson takes over the team lead. 5 home runs for Dickerson on the year. Souza Jr. and Morrison each with 4. Longoria has 3. 1-1. Rays lead the American League in runs scored. That's 94 runs. And they've hit 25 home runs. 1-2 the count on Kiermaier.
The Rays offense has been impressive, to say the least. They really have been getting contributions up and down the lineup. Guys like Souza Jr. and Corey Dickerson having big years, their 2nd year with the team. And both of them, by the way, getting some time in the leadoff spot. And I think the challenge of doing that has helped them. Chad Mottola certainly helps.
Pop on the left side. It's Machado into shallow left, taking care of that. 1 away.
Well, let's take a look at the Oriole defense and see how it's going to line up behind Jimenez tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we have Hyun-Soo Kim, Adam Jones, and Seth Smith. And across the infield, 3rd to 1st, Manny Machado, J.J. Hardy, Jonathan Scope, and Chris Davis, with Wellington Castillo behind the plate.
The Rays have certainly had no problem jumping out in front this year. with this run on the home run by Dickerson tonight, they've scored a major league most 25 runs in the first inning. There's a strike to Evan Longoria. That's now 10 runs more than any other team in the American League in the first inning. 1-1. So the Rays again strike early tonight.
Well, the key is now to make it hold up, because they did that yesterday. Well, 4 spot, and you know, all of a sudden that was all she wrote.
Davis into foul territory, back of first, handles the foul pop from Longoria. 2 gone.
That's been the ongoing theme, is a lot of early runs, and then it slows down through the middle of the game. And you know, a lot of opposing starting pitchers have been rocked early and then settled in. And yesterday was a perfect example of that with Joe Musgrove. And unfortunately for the Rays, the Astro offense did just enough to pull out a victory.
Well, we talked so much about adding on, and so the Rays have the early part of the game down right. Now you'd like to see the offense start to add on runs. Miller bunting fouls it. Homer, the 4th allowed by the Baltimore starting pitcher, Jimenez. Upstairs, 1-1. Ground ball headed for Scope at second. Miller hustling down the line is out number 3. Rays score first on a home run by Corey Dickerson. We'll head into the bottom of the first inning. Rays 1, Baltimore coming into bat. We go to the bottom of the first, 1-0 ball game. Baltimore will lead off with Seth Smith in right field. He'll be followed by Adam Jones. Manny Machado hits third. Chris Davis, Mark Trumbo, the DH, follows, and Wellington Castillo, the catcher. Kim Scope and Hardy rounding out the lineup, 7, 8, and 9.
Chris Archer making that 5th start of the season. 2-0 record. Talked about it in the open. Most important, the team 4-0. He pitches, they win.
First pitch, and that's a fastball for a strike.
It's something you can hang your hat on, because then you become a pitcher where guys show up to the ballpark and they look at the lineup and they see your name at the bottom, and it's like, well, we're going to win tonight. You just get that feeling. You have the confidence before the game even starts. That's how it was when I was with Arizona. Randy Johnson, you know, his name, you know, you see his name on the card, you're like, he had a pretty good chance. Kurt Schilling, pretty good chance. You see my name up there, coin flip.
Just to make it interesting.
Couldn't it be a lock every night?
Pitch is down. 2-1. Tim Timmons working the plate tonight, the umpire behind the plate. Out of Columbus, Ohio. He can widen the zone at times. Maybe on a cool night, he might be prone to doing that. Smith fouls it out of play. We go to 2-2.
I think a lot of that too, when you do have umpires that have a tendency to widen the plate, I think it comes for the most part in games where you've got pitchers on the mound that are commanding the ball around the zone. And so if he sees that you're able to command the ball in, out, put it where you want it, then all of a sudden those borderline pitches, you know, they start to go your way, maybe another inch. It's just it's a matter of a guy being good with command and control.
Well, you start to get the umpire in his own rhythm as well. There's a strikeout on a cut and miss. Strikeout number 1 for Archer, disposing of Seth Smith.
Let's take a look at the Rays defense. Let's see how it's going to line up here tonight. Whoa, we got a little bit different, Dwayne, but we're going to do it anyway.
Look at that.
Shane Peterson, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. left to right. Now we're going to go Longoria over to Beckham, over to Miller, down to Morrison. Derek Norris behind the plate. And that was brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source, even though you did not see their logo.
That just shows you how creative the truck can be at a moment's notice. Here's Adam Jones. The pitch is low to him. Jones off to a .269 start. He has 3 home runs.
Let's see if we can do the second inning. Well, no, maybe the third inning. Let's see if we can do the third inning in claymation.
Did you like the colors on that defense there?
I did.
Yeah. A 2-0 count. Back off the bottom of the stands, and the count is 2-1. Jones has emerged as the central figure in many ways in this Baltimore lineup. We have Machado on deck, and then Davis and Trumbo. There's a base hit toward left center field. Peterson over to cut it off. Jones will go for 2, and he is in there safely. Throw back in, pops straight up. And it's a double for Jones.
Well, that's frustrating. That's a hustle double. And if the throw from Peterson is handled and comes in, they got a chance to get it. First of all, the way that he got down and out over the plate for that slider, and he was thinking double the entire way out in shallow left center field, and that ball, well, take a look at the throw here. Peterson not able to really step into it all the way, and it short hops Brad Miller. They had a chance, but Adam Jones, boy, he took charge of that play.
Now it's Manny Machado. Ground ball third base. Longoria will make the play. Beckham heads to third to cover, and so did Archer for that matter. Here's the thing about this Baltimore club, and they really reflect their manager in this regard. You can't take things for granted against this team. And I think Adam Jones just displayed that. That's one of the trademarks of a Buck Showalter team.
There's no doubt. There is no doubt. You know, we see Kevin Kiermaier do it to other teams all the time. That's exactly what Adam Jones did. But, you know, look at the turnover on this team. You look at the core of this Oriole team, it's the same guys. Buck likes his guys. He likes guys that play the game right. He likes guys that are going to be accountable, that are going to work hard, that are winners. And that's why this team, when you break them down position by position and pitching staff and offense and defense, nothing flashy. They hit some home runs, but they're very one-dimensional.
Well, the wind gusting up on that first pitch. Davis took the pitch for a strike at the knees.
But this team just wins.
It's upstairs. Well, Showalter's reputation is one of being very thorough when it comes to putting a team together. He has a pretty good idea who he has, and he's going to stick with those guys because he has confidence in the evaluation they've made of who these guys are. 2-1 the count on Davis.
When you have a manager who is particular about certain brands of condiments in the food room, attention to detail, I mean, that's it.
Yep.
If he's doing that there, that team, he's going to know them inside and out.
Yep. So he has stuck with this core. He's done the due diligence.
Yeah. Well, and when you see him go to a new team, you know, if he shows up to your team and you're on the trading block or you're let go, you know, quickly, you may have some work to do.
Yeah,
on
there's a
certain
reason.
areas.
There's a legitimate reason.
And he wants a certain kind of player. Can't argue with the results.
2-2 the count on Chris Davis. Pretty close, and the count is full. Jones on second, 2 gone, a strikeout and a ground out around the double. And the full count to Chris Davis. Foul back. Davis spoiling the fastball. That one in the mid-90s. You'll see another 3-2 pitch.
And that slider's been in the low 90s. And Chris Archer right now, the power stuff. And that's really been the way that he's been. Well, there you see it right there. 95. Those sliders, 88. The fifth pitch was a slider at 92, trying to put him away.
And this one gets away from Norris on ball 4. And Jones goes over to third as the ball got away. Well, our Toyota inside look. Buck Showalter, 19th season as a major league manager and 3-time American League Manager of the Year. And we both had experience with him when he came up managing with the Yankees. Got a chance to see him operate firsthand, and you played for him in Arizona.
Yeah.
So you get a pretty good idea of what he's about.
No, I loved playing for Buck Showalter. And he's got a certain, you know, reputation out there, you know, among members of the media and just baseball in general. But he was, if you showed up, you worked hard, kept your nose clean, and just he knew what to expect out of you, then he was awesome to play for.
There's a strike to Trumbo. Mark Trumbo up with men at first and third. Jones going to third on a wild pitch.
If you're inconsistent and an own program type of guy, you wouldn't enjoy your time with him.
Tapper charged by Beckham. The throw to first in time. The Orioles leave 2. They do not score. The Rays with a run in the first lead 1-0. Inning for the Rays, who lead 1-0. Souza Jr., then Morrison and Beckham. A great week for Steven Souza Jr. Today's 28th birthday, the American League Player of the Week. And he's off to a great start. He's tied for 4th in the league in hitting. Tied for the lead in runs batted in. He takes the ball here, 1-0. Ball, 1 strike. Here's some other numbers this year on Steven Souza Jr. You see the average and total hits, runs batted in, on base percentage, and that OPS, very impressive.
And here's the thing, we're not even going to give you any perspective, but if any number, anything is over 1,000,
it's pretty good.
You're doing something right.
OPS 1,000, $1,000. It's all good.
It is all good. And he's been consistent, you know. His 20 games played, and you know, he's reached base safely 18 times. He's hit safely 16 times. He's using the whole field.
And strike 3 called. He took that pitch off speed, and he is called out on strikes.
Boy, some late action. It looked like it started off the plate, and then all of a sudden, here comes the little changeup off speed pitch right there to the edge, and that's what you're talking about, Dwayne. That strike zone, that's a borderline pitch that went the way of Jimenez.
Here's Logan Morrison. Want to know? Morrison at 246 right now. Moving the back foot out of the way, and he's ahead in the count. 2-0. Morrison right now 2 of his last 21 after his quick start. And some very good numbers against Jimenez. Three balls, no strikes.
The way that Evaldo is pitching Morrison right now, he knows those numbers too. I mean, 2-0, and he's still trying to crowd him with a little cutter. Not giving in, and certainly not anything out over the plate.
And he walks him. Boy, he was very careful to him.
I mean, right. Fastball down and away in a 3-0 count, and he bounced it. He wanted no part of Logan.
See, he hasn't digested the numbers over the last 4 games or so. He's still thinking about those appearances they had head-to-head. And they didn't come out on the winning end of those.
No, and it's funny you bring that up, because that's exactly how you think. You know, a guy could come in and they're like, listen, this guy's 0 for his last 42. And you're like, dude, he owns me. Now you just added the pressure. I don't care anything about those numbers. I care about the fact that he's 6 for 8 off me with 2 bombs.
Yeah, and you're right. If you tell a guy, hey, he's 0 for whatever it is, you've increased the pressure on your pitcher, because, you know, well, this guy's going bad, but he's really good against me.
Yeah, no, stuff like that gets you dropped.
Yeah.
It's like when you walk around talking about how fast the game's going. Oh,
yeah.
You know what?
You put on the brakes.
We used to have Marty. Marty was his name in Cleveland. and we'd be having a quick game, and he'd come walking through the clubhouse yelling about how fast this game is flying, and everybody wanted to
throw things at him.
yeah. Because you know the moment you say that, here it comes.
Yep.
Throw out the anchor and plan to be there a while.
1-0 the count to Tim Beckham. And this one blocked by Castillo. Nice job by Castillo back there on that one. Castillo has been known more as an offensive catcher than a defender back there. But a pretty good job of moving to get in front of that one.
Yeah, he had to go a long way too. You're right, a tough breaking ball to handle.
Morrison aboard on the walk. It's around the knees. 2-1. Is 1-0 this year in 3 prior starts. Earned an average a little over 5.5. There's a base hit. Struck right back through the middle. Morrison advances to second. And Beckham continues to swing a very good bat. He sits safely in 8 of his last 9. And he's up well over 350 in that stretch.
Well, uses the middle of the field. Yeah, that's a way to get things going in the right direction. Tim Beckham hammers that ball right back up the middle, and here with 1 out, the Rays threaten for more. We got 1 on the board.
Now Shane Peterson. The home run came at Fenway Park. And a good take on the fastball out of the zone up. Rays and the Orioles squaring off for the first time this year. The first of 19 games in the season series between these two clubs. The Orioles won the season series last year, winning 13 of the 19 games.
Do you ever see Major League Baseball going back to a balanced schedule?
You know what I'd love to see them do? Just forget about interleague. And whether it's balanced or not, the high foul, what I think that would do would allow you to see teams in the Rays case. You would see teams in the other divisions more than just a one series in the Central. Wouldn't you rather see Miguel Cabrera come to Tropicana Field for 2 series? Wouldn't you want to see Mike Trout and the Angels come in for 2 series instead of seeing them maybe for 3 games all year? That's what I'd love to see them do.
Don't you think that that would help promote players on a more national level?
There's no question.
Yeah, Mike, like you said, Mike Trout, you see him for 3 days.
He's a great player.
Right.
But if you're in the East, he's way out in the West, and you get a chance to see him 2 or 3 games all year if you live in the East. Well, you know, we've talked about Trout, Mookie Betts, and we just saw Altuve. Same thing with him. These are great players. And 2 of the 3, if you're in the East, you get a chance to see them 1 series a year at home. And I think the more baseball can expose those great players and the talent on a more often basis, you got to do it. Ground ball on the 3-2 pitch. Schoop at second. They get 2 out of that. Or they just get 1 out of that, as it turns out.
He looked to throw, Dwayne.
Yep.
And it was a deke. I mean, he looked like he was going to go there, but the Rays had put the runners in motion, and there just wasn't a play. So Schoop thought better of it and ended up just taking the 1 out at first.
And a good idea.
He wanted to.
Beckham, with his speed and braking, took away that option.
Right. And how about this? And then finally, he makes the throw, and Peterson's bearing down at first.
So the Rays, by being aggressive there, continue this inning and now have an even greater scoring opportunity with 2 men in scoring position.
And that's one of the areas that Jimenez really has struggled. And we talked about his last start. 7 2/3 scoreless baseball against the Reds. The previous 2 did not get out of the 5th inning. And it was when you got him in trouble and you got him out of the stretch, he had trouble finishing off innings.
Ball, no strikes, the count to Norris. He lifts it into center, and Jones is there waiting to make the catch to retire the side. Rays will leave 2 men on and lead 1-0. Sports Sun brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Jeep. Get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance event. By True Green. Live life outside. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. We're at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Moving on to the bottom of the second inning. Wellington Castillo, the catcher, leads off. Castillo, Kim, and Scope do against Archer. First pitch, a big league pop-up on the infield. Morrison waiting and makes the catch. A towering popper right there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
That had rings written all over it. Tropicana Field.
Yes, it did.
That ball was up there.
Well, if that one didn't bring the rain here, we might have a pretty good shot.
I like the way you're thinking right now, D-Wayne.
Look at the positive side here and move this game along. Well, here's the thing, because the Rays, they don't want to lose a start from Archer. So you grab the lead early, be efficient, at least get this game to the point where it's an official game. Kim, the left fielder, takes the ball. Strike at the knees. Young-Soo Kim out of Korea. Two balls and a strike. Skies it toward left center, and Peterson is there. He had Beckham and Kiermaier closing, but the left fielder handles the pop fly. 2 up and 2 down.
Boy, he went right after Kim in that at bat. Just power and fastballs, not even really trying to be too fine with it. One slider, puts him away on a soft pop up, and we're seeing more and more of that out of Chris Archer, getting back to being that power dominant fastball slider guy, kind of shelving the changeup, where we made a big deal early in the season, especially his opening day start, that that usage, I wonder if it was going to change because of the way he threw that game. But he's back to fastball slider and forget about it.
Schoop, Jonathan Schoop, taking a pitch down, 1-0. Well, the good thing about it, it's there, and you don't always have to go there if you don't need to, which in effect helps that pitch at times when you will need to use it and mix things up a little bit more. But here's bread and butter. There's that 95, 96, and that sharp late breaking slider. This one driven to center field. Kiermaier back to the wall, and he makes the catch. The fence here is 7 feet high, and Kiermaier stayed right with that one to haul it in. We are through 2. Rays 1 and Baltimore nothing. Have a look at Kiermaier in action. Top of the order coming up for the Rays. This series and a 3-city road trip, a 3-game set here in Baltimore. Corey Dickerson leads off. Dickerson worked the count to 3-1 and belted a home run to right center field to open this game. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Dickerson. Stays upstairs. Here's the home run pitch.
Just middle, and that ball actually had a little fade and run right into the barrel of Dickerson's bat.
He's way up in the count now.
Well, and again, pitching very, very carefully here to Dickerson, not giving him anything to hit thus far.
Oh, a check swing right there. Didn't mean to make contact, and he fouled it. 3-1.
Well, he keeps that fair. He's got a base hit. And you look at the way that the Orioles are set up defensively. A lot of open, lonely man on the left side.
Strike on the corner. And there says Timmons, and the count is full. Dickerson wondering about that one.
You know, and as much as a pitcher, I appreciate, you know, a bigger zone. That was a ball. I mean, that ball, it did have late run back towards the inside corner, but that stayed off the entire way. Dickerson was right.
He's under it, skies it this time. Adam Jones is there in short center. It's the first out in the third. Kids be at Tropicana Field Sunday. Circle May the 7th. Watch your favorite players crush the ball when the Rays take on the Blue Jays, and then practice hitting home runs yourself when you take home your very own batting gloves presented by Suncoast Credit Union. Visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Kevin Kiermaier in against the right-hander. Shortens on the bat that time and takes the pitch for a ball. Waldo Jimenez, 34 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Ground ball toward the middle, but shaded that way is Hardy, and the quick throw to first gets Kiermaier.
J.J. Hardy, a very solid shortstop, very deliberate in his movements and his actions, but with Kevin Kiermaier running, he knows you don't have time. You got to get rid of that thing quick. A little bit wide. Chris Davis, some help on the other end. Just one of those guys, J.J. Hardy, just makes all the plays. Nothing flashy, just get the job done.
I don't know. We talked about the Houston club series just finished, adding some veteran players to lend the stability that a veteran can bring, and Hardy's that kind of guy. Up the right side, foul by a foot or two, and it's 1-1. He really gives the Orioles that steadiness in the middle of the infield.
Yeah, great word. Great word.
And he's been a great guy to have teamed with Jonathan Scope at second base. Scope, in many ways, I think, sort of under the radar. People are recognizing what a good player he is and a good second baseman, but he's not a flashy guy and doesn't command a lot of attention. But that's been a pretty interesting combination here in Baltimore on both sides of the ball. Longoria out on strikes. He tried to check his swing. So we'll go to the bottom of the third now, with the Rays holding a 1-0 lead. Camden Yards. Moving to the bottom of the third inning. And the rain gear popping out in the stands. Some fans come prepared and others look for some shelter. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, leads it off here. This Archer's pitch is too high. The ball, no strikes. She's prepared and color coordinated.
How about that? And staying hydrated.
Mm-hmm. Two balls, no strikes, the count. Sky to the right side. Souza Jr. circling and moving to his left. He's got it. One out in the bottom of the third. We go back around to the top of the Baltimore lineup. Seth Smith up here. Veteran outfielder. 34 years old. Spent some time with the Rockies and the A's. 1 year in San Diego. The last couple years with Seattle. No ball, no strikes. Rays have the only run of the game so far. Fly ball toward left center field. Peterson on the run. He can't get there. A great pickup by Kiermaier. Into second base goes Smith. What an effort by Peterson, racing into left center field and made a diving attempt. And there to back it up, Kiermaier.
Yeah, well done by both of the Rays outfielders. You'd like to see Shane Peterson come up with that, of course, but you cannot say anything about the effort. That ball rockets out to left center on his horse. A great dive. Looked like it actually went off the top of the glove. It did. Boy, that close, and he was airborne. And then a nice job by Kevin Kiermaier as that ball just off the edge of that glove and get it back in.
We've seen Peterson have 2 or 3 of those close calls in the outfield like that. To pull off great catches. Here's Adam Jones. Did he go on the check swing? He held up. It's pretty close.
Knocking on the door for sure.
Foul back, 1-1 on that check swing. It's an umpire's decision call. You always look for the barrel of the bat. You hear about breaking of the wrist. And sometimes that first base umpire will use that baseline as a little bit of a guideline there to make that call in the appeal. Foul out of play. The count is 1-2. James Hoy, the first base umpire tonight. We'll follow that baseline right down to where it runs into the batter's box. And if the bat's on the fair side of that, well, that's a strike for sure.
Not a bad way to do it.
Out of play. Already hit a fly ball to right. Smith doubled into left center. Jones doubled in the first. One of the 2 hits allowed by Archer. Archer and the Rays protecting this slim 1-run lead. And in this park, any lead can be slim. Certainly one run. Two. Machado on deck. Full count now.
To see if it continues as a trend, but I've seen a couple of these Oriole hitters, even in the count, or if they're ahead in the count, not chasing, getting some good takes on that slider. Almost like anything down out of the hand of Chris Archer, we're going to try to let it go.
And the fastball is up, and he walks him. First and second, with one out for the middle of the order. Manny Machado heads to the mound.
Well, what you tell yourself here is you got a chance now for a double play to end this inning. That walk right there. And you're walking a guy too, Adam Jones, who just doesn't walk. This team does not walk. The Baltimore Orioles as a team, fewest in Major League Baseball. And Adam Jones leading the way.
Well, here's Machado. Couple of men on, and the pitch is a ball. Well, a key spot here on a rainy evening in Baltimore, with the Rays leading 1-0. And Archer protecting that lead against the middle of the order. Machado came into the game 10 of 32 in his career against Archer. And he is ahead of Archer now, 2-0 on the count. Beckham's going to spend a little time headed to the mound with Archer.
Have to figure out, have to find out what goes on in that exchange.
Now 2 balls, no strikes. This one is low in behind Norris. No attempt to move, and the count is 3-0 on Machado.
See that's another take right there where Machado didn't even flinch. I mean, he wasn't going after that pitch. Obviously, he's got the count in his favor, wants to see something up and out over the plate. But there have been far more good-looking takes on the slider here tonight than you can remember against Chris Archer. Still tough to do.
He's swinging 3-0 on the fastball and fouls it back.
That one had just enough up in the zone. Not able to get on top of it. See where this pitch ends up. Just enough height right up there around the letters.
Ball 4, that's going to load the bases. A double and back-to-back walks in the third with 1 out. The Orioles have the bases loaded for Chris Davis. Well, you get into this part of the order, you've got Jones and Machado and Davis and Trumbo. Deep in the woods there with those hitters.
And they haven't really even hit their stride yet. I mean, this offense always dangerous, of course, but they have not been clicking on all cylinders, even though, they've got the best record in the American League. It's not been completely driven by this offense.
How about this? They're 12th in the league in runs scored.
There you go.
And they're 12-5. And Chris Davis with them loaded. Norris blocks this one. 1-0.
Derek Norris is getting some work behind the plate. Sliders in the dirt.
Davis walked in the first inning. One of 3 walks now given up by Archer. He has 6 hits in his career against Archer, 6 out of 22. 3 of those hits home runs. Ground ball, that's a fair ball. Bobbled by Morrison, the toss to Archer. Run will score. And Davis is out at first base, 3-1. Jones goes to third, and Machado follows up to second base.
Kevin Cash out to talk to James Hoy. What they would be discussing here. Well, first you wanted to see, is this going to be fair? Rolls over a breaking ball. Demonstrative in the call. There's the ball dropped by Morrison and then flipped to Chris Archer. Yeah, and then get out of the way. That's smart.
Yep, and here's down the line. Wow.
And he's still kind of cocked though too. I wish they would get it right down the line because that's still a few feet over. And it gives you a little bit of an angle, but regardless, it's going to stay the way it was.
Davis out at first with Archer covering, a run batted in.
Yeah, and that can't be that much of a, a cost issue to do that because it's going to come into play. The questions are asked. You've got the replay now, so just put the cameras down the line.
Particularly using the replay.
Even if you didn't use them in the TV broadcast,
yeah,
it'd be nice to have them. But even if you had them as a tool to be able to make calls, that would mean, would it help? I'd have to say, or give a resounding yes.
0-2. Between the two of us, we have a lot of really good suggestions going tonight.
And on the East Coast, so everybody's paying attention. I do wonder, though, that schedule issue that we talked about, I think that you make the great point of getting to see these guys more than just one series a year, and that helps promote the player, which helps the game. It makes it more national instead of regional.
Yep. I mean, baseball's always had a strong regional approach, and that's great for the game. It's sustained the game for years. But on a national level, I think it's important that the really great superstars, and Trout's one of them, but he's stuck out there on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Trumbo is out on strikes. That takes care of Baltimore in the third. They pick up a run, leave a couple men in scoring position. A big strikeout here for Archer. Rays and the Orioles tied 1-1. wind has let up a little bit here to the point where some of the folks are getting rid of the rain gear. Here's Brad Miller taking the pitch too low. Miller grounded out to second his first time. It'll be Miller followed by Steven Souza Jr. and then Logan Morrison. Two 2-0 Rays facing Ubaldo Jimenez tonight. His career numbers at Camden Yards, an earned run average of .501, 14 and 13 here. High pop up straight back. That will be foul coming out of play. Advancing the count to 2-1. Three balls and a strike. We're grounded to second his first time. There's Steven Souza Jr. on deck. And the Rays have a base runner. Leadoff walk. And we'll check in now with Alex. Alex, how are you on this cool, rainy evening?
Hey there, Dwayne. Well, we timed our hit perfectly because it's not raining anymore. But we want to wish Steven Souza Jr. a very happy 28th birthday, and he said it was a wonderful birthday gift and a huge honor to receive the AL Player of the Week award. It was the first time he received the award. But guys, it seems like every year he likes to celebrate his birthday in style. How about last year? He hit 2 home runs on his birthday. It was a birthday bash. He was playing the Yankees, and we'll see what he has in store for an encore tonight. Dwayne.
All right, thank you very much. 28 today. And the Rays would certainly like a reenactment of that. Here it is last year at Yankee Stadium. One to left center and the other one down the line and right. A 2 home run day. And coming off a great week to earn American League Player of the Week honors on his birthday this year. Ball, no strikes.
Well, he's been some kind of locked in. There's no doubt about it. A disappointing season a year ago, and came out of spring training red hot. Hasn't really slowed down at all, and really love what he's doing at the plate too, as far as attacking the baseball. There are times we've seen him cut the swing down just a little bit. He talks about playing a little bit freer mentally, not thinking too much, not taking at-bats out into the field and dragging those along with him, the bad ones, into the next at-bat, just kind of letting things go.
Yeah, and we have seen him, as you point out, sometimes cut down on the swing with 2 strikes. And he's still a guy who's strong enough, even when he does that right pitch, he's going to hit that one out.
Yeah, I think it depends on the pitcher, how nasty the guy's stuff is. And you're right, even and it's subtle. Yeah. It's very subtle. It's not like he becomes, a little punch and Judy guy that's just going to try to, play pepper with the infield. He cuts the swing down a hair, and sometimes that's all it takes. Still going to get some strikeouts, but boy, when he's making contact right now, it's solid.
He's ahead in the count, 3-1. And has drawn the walk, back-to-back walks to open the 4th inning.
Now this is where it can start to go south for Ubaldo Jimenez. You watch him mechanically, you can see already that you're going to run into, as he's got more balls than strikes, you're going to run into stretches like this because there is a lot going on in his delivery to home plate, whether it's out of the windup or out of the stretch, the hands coming back behind him. There's just a lot of movement, and if it gets off a little bit, he's going to get wild.
Yeah, you're right about that. That pitching arm and the hand extends back, and kind of a wrapper back there for him, and to get everything back on the other side and all in sync can sometimes be an issue. Souza Jr. at first, Brad Miller at second, Logan Morrison at the plate. Takes a pitch away, a fastball wide. The Rays got a run in the first on the Dickerson home run. The Orioles got a run in the third. We're now in the fourth inning. And Morrison taking 2 pitches for a ball. Rays have had base runners aboard in 3 of the first 4 innings. Missing inside now. So it's the 3rd consecutive 3-ball count. He went 3-1 to Miller, walked him, 3-1 to Souza Jr., walked him. He's 3-0 to Morrison, and that's Tim Beckham on deck. And now he's 3-1 on Logan Morrison.
The sarcastic cheers. And you know they're coming. That's a terrible place to be, is when you're out there, your only job, obviously get outs, throw strikes, and you can't even do that. Can't defend the walk. It's a...
Only comes back with a couple strikes and the count is full.
And now be ready to pull the trigger. Logan Morrison. And you've got to assume, obviously, you think that he's going to stick with the fastball.
Miller second, Souza Jr. at first.
But we'll see.
And Morrison is out on strikes. Fastball got him.
That's a strange at bat. You know, you got a guy at the plate in Logan Morrison who has had really good career numbers off of Evaldo Jimenez. Is up in the count 3-0. And the fact that he struck out, you know, okay, that happens. But it was 3 straight fastballs that were all taken. Never did swing the bat, and ends up striking out. What a weird AB.
Now Tim Beckham with 1 out and 2 men on. And that's a ball. Jimenez started this game giving up the home run to Corey Dickerson on a 3-1 pitch. His first pitch strikes tonight to the first 4 hitters. The first pitch were strikes. And he's missed on 12 straight hitters. 2-0 to Beckham. We got a strike to Dickerson in the first, missed on 3 pitches, gave up the home run. But all the first pitch strikes in the first were in there. Nothing since. And he is behind 3-0 to Beckham. So more of the same here in the 4th inning. All 4 hitters have had one variation of a 3-ball count. Shane Peterson on deck.
You know what's interesting too about the first pitch strikes that you're talking about, Dwayne? The difference in the on-base percentage against Jimenez between 0-1 and 1-0. Wow. I mean, it goes from 250 almost at 484 coming into play.
Almost half.
Yeah, missed with the first pitch, and you've almost got a 50% chance of getting on base, and he certainly hurt himself this inning. And then, once again,
he's walked the bases loaded. They're loaded with 1 out. 3 of his 4 walks allowed tonight have come in the 4th. Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, heads to the mound, and there's some movement in the bullpen.
Vidal Nuno looks like.
The Orioles spend some time on the mound. Shane Peterson is due up. Behind him, the right-handed bat of Derek Norris before they get to the top side of the order with back-to-back lefties in Dickerson and Kiermaier. So the left-hander busy in the bullpen. Big opportunity for the Rays in the fourth after the Orioles tied it with a single run in the third. They give you this kind of opportunity, you'd really like to cash in. Peterson takes the first pitch high.
You almost have to. I mean, it'd be so demoralizing not to when a guy just hands you the bases loaded in an inning. First two with nobody out, then gets an out, then the bases loaded. So many opportunities.
There's a shot to right field toward the corner. That will one-hop the corner, and that's fair. Miller scores. Souza Jr. heads to the plate. Beckham stops at third on Peterson's double, and the Rays take the lead. Ball back into the corner. Seth Smith standing there by the foul line.
Let's take a look. Peterson turns right down the right field line, and this was going to be really, really close. And I thought, well, I mean, we're a long way away, but it certainly looked like it landed on the line. Uh-oh, maybe not. That looks maybe a hair wide.
Well, there you go. You need that camera right down the line.
I mean, right? Didn't we just talk about this? This is the call.
Yep.
I'm done. I'm dropping the mic. I'm out. We nailed it. We're going to get the schedule changed, and we're going to get these stupid cameras put in because this is where you need it.
Yeah. We'll put 14 teams in one league and 16 in another. Well, did it get any part of the line or not?
I mean, listen, who knows what comes out of New York? I'm saying foul ball.
Well, they have to have a definitive look. If they had one camera shot right down the line, they would have it.
Yes, they would. And that's what goes in the Rays' favor here.
Yeah.
You know, the call is, and like you said, it's just got to catch that outside. Just move some chalk.
That's all they need.
And I think that, you know, it probably will end up standing. But you look at the divot, and you're like, we'll see.
Kevin Cash doing some phone work of his own. This play under review. Peterson right now is at second with Beckham at third, 2 runs in on a ball just up the right field line. And the initial call is fair. And there you go. So the Rays are going to get a couple runs out of that. And let's take a look. So the call stands. And Buck Showalter comes out of the dugout, and he's not happy. But all it needs is just one little bit of chalk dust for it to be fair. And you've got to have a clear look to overturn it.
Well, the best piece of evidence was the divot. And I don't even think that's admissible. And that's your best piece of evidence, and that doesn't tell the whole story. Looks to be on the wrong side of the line, but for the Rays, it's a couple of runs and more runners in scoring position.
Yeah, so the Rays have taken a 3-1 lead. Derek Norris is the hitter. And it's second and third. Pitch inside. Beckham's at third. Peterson's at second. And it's 1-1. Rays got a run in the first. The Orioles a run in the third, and the Rays back with 2 runs in the fourth inning. Time granted by Tim Timmons. Two and one, boy. Jimenez has been behind all the hitters here in the fourth.
He just cannot find the zone. Enough said right there. How about that?
8 strikes the entire inning.
Wow. Well, you know what though? The Rays so far are cashing in.
And a check. There's another 3-ball count. 3-1. Sweeping that pitch out of the zone. Dickerson is on deck. It's fouled, and Charlie Montoyo makes the pickup. Missed opportunity in the front row back of the dugout there.
There was.
Three-2 to Norris. He takes that one low for ball 4. It's the 4th walk of the inning. And Showalter is out of the dugout and making a pitching change. So Jimenez walks himself right out of this game. Big talk here in Baltimore over the last few days has been all about this. Machado, Manny Machado going into Dustin Pedroia at second. Pedroia taking that peg from Bogarts, and then as retaliation, that pitch from Matt Barnes that has earned him a 4-game suspension. And boy, that was a dangerous pitch right there, and you could see the exchange from the dugout, Pedroia and Machado, and Pedroia really from the outset of that was pretty cool-headed all the way around, and saying then that that pitch that hit Machado's bat had nothing to do with him. That was something else. So there are all kinds of angles to this story, starting with the slide in at second base.
My favorite part of the exchange was Dustin Pedroia made it very clear to Manny Machado it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Because if it did, we'd have hit you the first game.
Get it over with.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way that he said it. Talk about how you handle things. That's usually the way that it was. You have a situation, and I thought the slide by Manny Machado didn't look very good either, especially with Dustin Pedroia behind the bag. So you just have to understand in a situation like that you're going to get plunked. And usually it happens quickly and it's over with. Now it seems as if this may linger for the season, especially against teams that are going to see an awful lot of each other, and you kind of get sick of each other anyway.
Well, in this game, Fidel Nuno has taken over with the bases loaded, a couple runs in, and a 2-1 count on Corey Dickerson, who opened this game with a home run. 2-2.
And by the way, Dwayne, just
Yes.
to wrap that up, they're going to see each other very soon. First week of May. To tune in.
Yeah, you turn the calendar to May. There you go, just a week away.
Yeah. Go time.
Rays with Beckham, Peterson, and Norris, third, second, and first. And strike 3 called to Dickerson. It's the second out of the inning. And if the Rays are to get anything more, it's up to Kevin Kiermaier against this lefty.
Yeah, that hurts. Great pitch by Nuno, though. He drove that right to the outside corner, 91 miles an hour. Gets him looking with the bases loaded.
Kiermaier's popped out and grounded out. Rays have been helped along by 4 walks in this inning. It's a strike to Kiermaier and a double that just got a little piece of the right field line, apparently. And that was the call, fair, and not enough evidence to overturn it. Blocked by Castillo. I think you're exactly right. On that Machado Pedroia situation at second. If that's taken care of inside that game, and there's nothing as dramatic as the pitch behind Machado, if that would not have happened then it's over. See ya. Now the season series could be very interesting.
I was also interested, and I know you were too, to see what Major League Baseball was going to do to Matt Barnes. And there was a thought that because it was so high profile, and obviously the exchange made it very, very national, and 2 high profile players, that you may see a significant suspension to send a message.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it was only 4 myself.
I absolutely am too.
If you want to send a message, because that pitch potentially is lethal.
Sure.
I mean, where it was.
Right. At the velocity.
Yes. You've got to send a message, and a significant one. Now the count is full to Kiermaier.
And the rain comes back a little harder than last time.
Well, a full count. And that is strike 3 call. Ball gets loose, and the throw down to first. So Kiermaier's out on strikes, and the Rays take the lead. A couple of runs score. They leave the bases loaded. This double by Peterson got the runs home, and it's 3-1. We're in the middle of the 4th. Son brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers. By Jeep. Get great deals at the Jeep Spring Clearance event. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Rain continues to fall at Camden Yards. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Exclusive seating right there, an entire section all to yourself.
Not a fun way to spend the evening right there. Not a friend in sight.
Castillo leads it off, and he takes a strike. Wellington Castillo popped out to Morrison his first time.
You got a couple minutes, and the tarp is coming on. It is coming down pretty good.
And now Castillo steps back. Two. Jimenez worked 3 1/3. The Rays got all 3 of their runs off him. He made 78 pitches, 35 strikes. Wave and a miss. Castillo is out of there on strikes.
Got a better chance for a chase on that slider when you're pitching with 2 strikes out in front. And the slider here tonight, it's that one that really resembles the very, very hard curveball. Look at the depth. Look at that thing just disappear. That is absolutely filthy when that ball's leaving the hand at 90 miles an hour.
Hyun-Soo Kim, the hitter. Kim came to the Orioles last year, made his major league debut, in fact, against the Rays in April of 2016. A ball, no strikes. Archer 3-6 in his career against the Orioles and 1-3 here. Behind Kim, 2-0. And in the bottom of the 4th, as the rain continues to fall. Two and one. Jonathan Schoop on deck. It's a 3-1 count. Well, there have been a number of teams who've encountered illness in the early part of this year. You know, Boston.
Yeah.
When we went up there, the Orioles have had a touch of it. The Rays have had a touch of this. In fact, the Rays have somewhere between around 10 or 12 players in one way or another adversely affected with the bug of some kind. Now 3-2 here on Kim.
And it makes it tough too, because not only does it make it more difficult obviously to play because you feel so bad, sometimes you can't even play, but you're around each other for so many hours of the day. It's so tough to keep it from spreading everywhere. Well,
that's one of the reasons today Kevin Cash said, look, you don't have to be dressed until 5 o'clock. You figure you're not going to take batting practice. The weather forecast was bad. He didn't want all of these sick guys together, sitting around, hanging around in one big room, essentially. He just trying to keep his team healthy as much as he can. And ball 4 is too high. 4th walk given up by Archer. The Rays in 7-11, bringing a $7.11 ticket to Rays fans. Visit a local participating 7-Eleven store and pick up a Rays discount coupon for the game coming up Friday, May 5th against the Blue Jays. Keep saving with $5 Budweiser and Bud Light drafts exclusively on the Budweiser porch. Ages 21 and over, please drink responsibly. Raise up. Jonathan Schoop. He tracks that fastball in for a strike. Schoop sent Kiermaier to the wall with a fly ball back in the second inning as Kiermaier tracked it down and grabbed it. Ground ball shortstop. Beckham to Miller 1. First base scooped by Morrison. Timely 6-4-3 double play to get rid of the Orioles in the 4th. And our game will head into the 5th inning with the Rays leading 3-1. Tonight, the Rays in Baltimore beginning a 3-city road trip. First game of the 3-game series against the Orioles. Evan Longoria leads off, fouling the first pitch from Vidal Nuno. Evan 0 for 2, a strikeout his last time up. The Rays got all 3 of their runs charged to the starter, Ubaldo Jimenez. Down to third. Machado reaching down for the pickup. And the pick at first by Davis. One out in the 5th.
Every once in a while, you need a little help from your friends. Saves an error here on Manny Machado, the slick fielding third baseman for the Orioles. Everything looks to be in fine order. Davis digs it out.
That's the other thing about the game that Chris Davis gives the Orioles. Tend to overlook what he does at first base.
And you know, you never think about him being a plus defender, but
yep.
boy,
Nice bunt right there and a late throw. Brad Miller bunting his way on.
You know, and the thing about that, the way that the grass is cut here at Oriole Park, it's right up against the foul line. So you don't have a whole lot of room for that ball to roll off of the grass and then let the momentum take it foul. So if it's in the grass and it's straight for any length of time, you've got to try to make a play, which is what Nuno did. Not timely enough. You know, if we had a down-the-line camera, we'd get a real good shot of how close that grass was.
This comment brought to you by Brian Anderson and the campaign for cameras up and down the line.
Look how many, look, we're in the 5th inning, and this is the 3rd instance that it would have been useful.
And Point well taken. Right again.
You know what? Don't patronize me. Stats.
I am very serious.
You look at.
One ball and one strike here on Souza Jr. Rays with a runner aboard. Ooh, there's a little foul ball and got a piece of Castillo. 3 1/3 for Jimenez. 3 runs, 3 hits, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run. Corey Dickerson greeted him with a home run. It was his 5th of the year.
That pickoff throw look a little odd to you?
It's a different look.
It's like,
Well, you have to vary your look to first base, and he did.
He did look like he was throwing darts.
Broken bat, roller left side. Hardy's going to get an out at second, but no play at first. Souza reaches on a fielder's choice with the broken bat ground ball. Two outs with a runner aboard. Now Logan Morrison. Morrison has walked and has been called out on strikes. And a move to first, ducking back in is Souza Jr. Another varied look by Nuno with his move to first. Well, nothing to count. We're in the top of the 5th. Right back for the starter Jimenez. This was his 4th start, and for the 3rd time he has failed to go 5. Last time out at Cincinnati he pitched 7 2/3, 4 1/3 in the other 2 outings, and 3 1/3 tonight.
And it wasn't the number of walks in those 2 starts, it was the long ball that got him out of that.
Into center field. That ball's going to be in there. Souza Jr. will head to 3rd. Morrison drops a soft liner out there in front of Jones. And the Rays have men on the corners with 2 outs, and Tim Beckham due up with a chance to add to the lead.
And these are those add-on runs that you're talking about. You take the lead, and now you've got an opportunity here with 2 outs. Ball right off the end of the bat.
Snaps an 0 for 10 for Morrison. Beckham has been on base twice. Singled in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. The ball, no strikes. He's been left on both times this evening. Looking for a 2-out hit to drive in a run or 2. It's 2-0. Headed for the stands. Into the 2nd deck. 2 balls and a strike. not overpowering, but he'll give you a variety of pitches. Fastball, slider, and a change, occasional cutter and curveball. He gets that one in there, soft strike. 2-2.
Change speeds, move the ball around the zone. Working from the left side. You know, Buck Showalter, when you think about his bullpens, the way that he puts them together, all the different styles. He's even got different leg kicks. Different leg kicks, different versions of the throw to first. He just gives you a lot to think about. And that's what you have to do. If you're not going to be overpowering, you've got to be pinpoint with your control, be deceptive. Something to set you apart.
Ground ball, shortstop. Hardy with the flip to Scope. And just in case, a toss to first, but that was the third out at second, and the Rays lead 3-1. Tonight's Geico great moment on this day in 2012. Left-hander David Price throwing his second career shutout as the Rays blanked the Angels 5-0. The Rays on their way to a 90-win season. And they led the major leagues, that pitching staff, with a .319 earned run average in 2012.
That's pretty remarkable. An ERA like that in the American League East, which is a very difficult division. First and foremost, a lot of offensive firepower.
On we go in this one to the bottom of the fifth with J.J. Hardy leading off. Chris Archer and the Rays holding a 3-1 lead, and that first pitch is a strike.
Four walks, uncharacteristic for Chris Archer. Ubaldo Jimenez having that issue too. It drove him right out of the game.
Fly ball right field. Souza Jr. going back in front of the track and makes the catch. On a night like this, you're never quite sure.
You're right. My head was moving the same way. That ball looked like it had a chance, and it just got knocked down. And I think that the wind absolutely had something to do with that, because it seemingly was up there traveling and carrying well, and then just came down. Even watch Souza Jr. He's expecting it, and then like, oh, wait a minute. And absolutely got knocked down out there in right center.
Yeah, you could see Souza Jr. got into that hightail motion there.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, and then shut it down and caught it in front of the warning track.
The ball didn't look right coming down, and then I saw your head shoot right to the flags out in center. And I'm like, you're right on it. Now it's quiet. Remember how quickly it came up earlier, though.
Mm-hmm. Want to know the count here. 1-1. 1 out, bases empty. Bottom of the 5th. Smith doubled in the 3rd. He has scored the Baltimore run tonight. He's in the leadoff spot for Buck Showalter's club. He is the first of 3 strikeouts recorded by Archer. He was walked 4. And behind Smith, 3-1. Adam Jones on deck.
And this is that lineup, the part of the lineup again where you do not want to be issuing the free pass. It makes it so much more difficult. All the power that's on its way to the plate. Just a 2-run lead. Baltimore continues to hang around.
And he walks Smith.
Yeah, 5 walks. You know, this is what the knock on Chris Archer was in the minor leagues. Great arm, didn't have the command. Yeah, obviously at the major league level, we've really not seen that. Chris Archer, not a big walk guy at all, but tonight having a little bit of problems with the command, and you can see it there just in the balls and strikes breakout, just over 50-50.
Well, Jones has been on twice. He doubled in the 1st, walked in the 3rd. Coming into the game, 4 of 32 against Archer, but on twice tonight. Into right field, Souza Jr. going back. It's going to be over his head. Gets a good carom. They're going to hold Jones to a single. Smith goes to 3rd, however, and it's 1st and 3rd with only 1 out. Jones on for the 3rd time.
Well, the way that you beat the wind out to right field is just hit it on a line. And Adam Jones has had his struggles against Chris Archer. Not here tonight. Fastball up. He gets extension and hits an absolute rope the other way. Souza Jr., though, great job of playing that ball off the wall, keeping Adam Jones to just a single. Keep the double play in order.
Well, Archer got a double play ball out of Jonathan Scope in the 4th inning. Now he faces Machado. Machado's matchups against Archer have been the opposite of Jones. He's had some success. Pitch is high. 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Came in 10 of 32 against Archer with a home run and among the 10 hits. So a challenge for the Rays and Chris Archer. Near miss there. 2-0.
Slider right down at the bottom of the zone. Could have.
That's a strike. 2-1. Jones at first base with his 1500th career hit. Jones won't be 32 until August. 1500 hits. Swing and a miss right there. 2-2.
He got a gift there. 3 straight sliders, and that last one just kind of hung. At least it was away from him, and he pulls off of it with the big, long swing. It's not a good feeling when that pitch comes out of your hand with a guy like Machado at the plate.
The foul right back, mid-90s fastball. Yeah, for Machado, you forget that he's only 24 years old. His approach to hitting, you know, he'll be patient up there, but he can be aggressive, swings hard. But most of the time you make a mistake, he makes you pay.
Yeah, that's what the good ones, the great ones, that's what they do. Oh,
He popped them up. Foul ball, and Morrison. Yeah, you want to track that one for sure.
Wow, I'll tell you, this one was actually more hittable than the previous one. And Manny Machado, yeah, he's not happy. When he goes down and looks at the video, he's really not going to be happy. Watch this one. The slider, boy, that just hangs in the middle of the plate at the belt, and he just missed it. And you will take that as a Rays fan for sure.
You know, we've talked about it a lot. If you're a hitter, you figure there's a chance you'll get a pitch to hit, one pitch.
He got two hangers and did nothing with it.
Now Chris Davis, another major threat. That's strike one. Davis walked into first. Got a run in on a ground ball his last time up. Smith at third and Jones at first. One and one. That's a strike, fastball taken. 1 and 2. Two men on, 2 men out, a 1-2 count. Rays lead by 2. Fly ball toward the line and left. Peterson into foul territory, and he runs out of room. Ball just into the stand.
Yeah, and that wind certainly didn't help that. Kind of pushed it right out of play. Not a lot of room down the line.
Place else to go for Peterson. Still a ball, 2 strikes on Chris Davis. Upstairs, 2 and 2.
See, a lot of these pitches have been upstairs, and for good reason. You know, Chris Davis is one of those guys, big, strong slugger, likes the ball down and out over the plate, where he can really drop the barrel, get good lift with an uppercut swing. But he will chase. Obviously, he runs up some big strikeout numbers, and he's got a big strike zone to work with.
And a foul tip strikeout. Big cut on a mid-90s fastball. 2 men left. We're through 5. 3-1 Tampa Bay. Thank you very much for that update of other baseball going on. Here we move into the 6th. Peter Borges will pinch hit for Shane Peterson against the left-hander, and he fouls the first pitch.
Red flashbacks right there.
Everything's good.
Everything is good. It was a long time ago, Dwayne.
High popper, and that will slice out a play into the seats. 0-2. Well, there may be a few BAs out there, but there's only one real BA.
Not really. Not. I mean, when I have to log into any official MLB account, I'm like B. Anderson 4. There's a lot in front of me. There's a line of them. The play-by-play for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. Yep. Fine young man from Georgetown, Texas.
Yes. Great guy. Got to do a segment with him in interleague play.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yep. How confusing.
That's why
Checking into hotels.
Oh, yes, we've been booked together.
A 2-strike count. 1-2. Fortunate to have accommodations. Desk clerk sees 2 Brian Andersons. They cancel 1.
That's
it's double booked.
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah.
For our meetings, and so it checked into the hotel, and the lady said, you know, I saw that you had 2 rooms, so I just went ahead and put you in a villa. I'm like, sweet. That's what you get for checking in first. And then poor Brian Anderson, the other one, shows up that night, and
yeah, too bad.
Yeah, they literally. He got him the tag.
Got him the tag. Machado's throw pulled Davis off, but he tags Borges.
That's the second time tonight that Chris Davis has saved Manny Machado from getting an error on what looked to be a routine ground ball. Borges rolls it over. Machado, everything in line again. The throw sails. Chris Davis, a big guy too, when he's able to make that catch and make the tag.
One away in the 6th. It's an official game. Rays and the Orioles 5 innings under their belts here. Eric Norris fouls it back. Weather forecast for tomorrow a bit more ominous even than today's, but the Rays and the Orioles managed to make it an official game tonight.
Let you know how fortunate we were on the first trip going up to New York and Boston, and the weather was gorgeous.
2. Rays will be heading on to Toronto after this series. Takes the ball in. 3 runs for the Rays. Ball against Jimenez, the starting pitcher. Nuno in there right now. Foul ball holds the count at 1-2. Stephen Crichton up in the bullpen. You saw a shot of him, the right-hander, a moment ago. Nothing doing here in the 6th inning.
40 points away from your weight.
And to right center, that's slicing back towards Smith. He comes in and makes the catch. 2 gone with the bases empty in the 6th. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. dressed for the weather here, rooting for the Rays. Top of the order, Corey Dickerson takes a big cut and fouls it. Dickerson opened the scoring in the first when he homered a 3-1 pitch. To the count, cut and a miss. That ball is going to be fair and will drop in for a base hit. Dickerson's going to try for two, and he is in there. Boy, Dickerson making the turn at first, and a great read by Dickerson to get into second for a double.
Yeah, softly hit, well placed, and you're right. With that play happening out in left field, Dickerson can get a really good look at it as, you know, he's getting ready to round first base. You see him looking the whole way and then realizing, I got this. He certainly does. That's another scoring opportunity, another chance to extend this lead.
That's his 8th double of the year. 2 more extra base hits for him tonight, a home run and a double. Now Kevin Kiermaier. So a great 2-out opportunity if Kiermaier can solve this left-hander. Off the delivery, and the count is 1-1. Off the front of the Rays dugout. Foul ball, 1-2. Threaded the needle on that one. Rays leave a man, and they lead 3-1. Rays open the scoring in this game back in the first on a leadoff home run by Corey Dickerson, his 5th home run of the year. Baltimore tied it with a run in the 3rd. Chris Davis with the ground ball getting the run home. Seth Smith crossing the plate. The Rays back with 2 in the 4th, aided by walks. Shane Peterson's double just down the line and just fair. The Orioles called for a review, and that call stood. So the Rays hold this 3-1 lead moving into the bottom of the 7th. There's Peter Borges, who pinch hit in the top of the inning, now playing left field in the bottom of the 6th. Trumbo lifts this one into center. Kiermaier coming straight in, and he hangs on to it. Boy, a little precarious for a moment, but he managed to hang on to that one. He had a full head of steam coming straight in toward the infield.
And you know, there's a moment of pause before he started coming in. You get Mark Trumbo, big, strong guy, trajectory off the bat, and it tells you this ball's going back. He takes an initial step back, and then he gets on the high horse. And how about this? Oh, he stays on his feet, too. Basket catch. Stuck the landing.
Here's Castillo, the catcher. Strike 1, Wellington Castillo. Back into the screen, 0-2.
That was another one of those sliders that hung up in the zone, and the reaction from Chris Archer lets you know he's not real happy, frustrated with that pitch. Last couple of innings has hung a couple early on. Boy, that thing was darting right to the dirt. Just got to make a little adjustment.
And Castillo has some pop. He had 14 home runs last year for Arizona. Into center field. It's Kiermaier lining up to make that catch for the 2nd out. So 4 pitches and 2 outs here in the 6th inning, and good news for Archer, who had made 80 pitches through the first 5.
Got a chance to get another couple of innings out of him. You can see he got pushed there in the 3rd, in the 5th. You know, a lot of that is own doing with the walks here tonight, but he's been able to pitch around them and make the big ones when he's needed to.
Hyun-Soo Kim up here. He walked in the 4th. Is low. Archer got him on a fly ball to left in the 2nd. The rain has reappeared. 2-0. Rain off and on, and they're going to put the rain gear back on. The knees for a strike. 2-1. Shot back into deep right center. Souza Jr. climbing the wall, and it's gone. Kim hits a home run. And that will make it a 1-run ball game. Kim hit 6 home runs last year. That's his first home run this year.
Boy, that ball came off the barrel of Kim's bat. Very hot. Just saying. That pitch out over the plate, and he gets down and through it, creates a ton of backspin, and that's where you get the carry. Souza Jr., he's going to try to climb that wall, just not anywhere near it.
And some concern out there with Steven Souza Jr. A home run. Souza Jr. went to the wall for it. Kim has made it a 1-run game.
Hey, Archer! Put some more sunscreen on your elbow!
If it was something obviously done climbing that wall out there.
Now's the time! Put some more sauce on there!
Well, they're testing the elbow.
So he hurt his arm! Put somebody else in! It's not that difficult!
Well, the home run by Kim, the first given up by Archer this year. It's on a night in which he has walked 5, which equals his highest walk total of his career in a game. And now the Rays will have Souza play a little catch and see how the elbow feels. He's going to stay in the game. Well, there's Susan extending the glove arm and hanging over the wall with the right side. So with a run home, 2 outs, here's Jonathan Schoop. Now he hits one deep to right. Souza's going to have to go back, and he runs out of room for this one. And on back-to-back pitches, this game is tied. So Archer had not given up a home run in over 30 innings. In fact, he'd gone 31 innings into the season without allowing a home run, and now on back-to-back pitches, he's touched for 2 home runs.
It's a goofy game. You know, that was really, he gave up 30 a year ago and had done a great job of keeping the ball in the park. Not always easy here in this ballpark with this team. But Jonathan Schoop right after Hyun-Soo Kim. Tie game.
Jay Hardy takes a strike. Hardy hit a ball deep to right, had the wind knock it down in the 5th inning. Fly ball into right field. Souza Jr. coming in for this one, and he makes the catch. So a couple of home runs back to back in the 6th. And this game is tied 3-3. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Erasmo Ramirez on the hill, and we'll hear from him. And BA will break down Tim Beckham, who has been swinging a hot bat lately. Beckham with a single and a walk tonight. We go to the 7th. The Orioles bring on a new pitcher. Michael Gibbons will make his 8th appearance.
Michael Gibbons, an ERA of 1 in 9 innings of work. He's got that almost sidearm delivery, but with great velocity. And he's one of the guys out of this bullpen that has a huge upside because of that. And Buck Showalter, as we've chronicled, loves to have variety coming out of the bullpen. Different looks, different arm angles, different styles.
26-year-old right-hander out of Plant High School in Tampa. He faces Evan Longoria, and the first pitch is down and away, 1-0. Longoria, Miller, and Susie Jr. due up in this inning. Strike at the knees, 1-1. So 2 2/3 for Nuno. No runs, 3 hits.
Well, he did his job. He kept his team in it.
Another 2 on the foul ball.
And, you know, and as soon as this game gets tied up, even though he was pitching well, Buck Showalter goes, okay, forget it. I'm going right out to the big boys in this bullpen.
Yeah, they had Crichton up, and when they tied it, they got Gibbons up, and he's in the game. He's been pitching well.
You see the kind of velocity that he can give you from that arm angle. This is straight sidearm. Not only that, but he also gives you a little deception after he comes set. There's a little bit of a twist as he's delivering the ball to the plate, turns his back on you.
And he's the former infielder. He was in their system initially in the minor leagues as an infielder. He was picked in the 09 draft. And in 2013, converted to the mound. Full count. So it took him about 2.5 years in the minor leagues to get to the big leagues on the hill and become an important part of their bullpen. Liner into right. That's going to be in for a base hit. Longoria begins the 7th with a single. The Rays have the leadoff man aboard.
Just inside out, stay inside the baseball. Odd arm angle, good velocity. Dump one out into right field, get this inning started.
Here's Brad Miller. He walked and scored in the 4th inning. Fly ball center field. That's going to carry to Jones. And it is out number 1. Good Steven Souza Jr. to the plate. He walked and scored in the 4th. Otherwise, nothing out of 2 in this game. Souza Jr., American League Player of the Week, hitting .414 with 2 homers and 9 runs batted in for the week. And a bunt attempt. One strike to count on Souza Jr. Rain falling again. Here's the bunt attempt. He's trying to bunt again, and that went in on his hands as he bunts it foul.
not having a good go of it here over the last inning. That ball looked like it almost got in there close to that right hand too, as that ball jumped up and in. We saw this in that series against the Astros, trying to push bunt. Kind of reached for that hand too. That ball running up and in, just kind of, it handcuffs him, literally.
An 0-2 count. This one is fouled right off the catcher's mask. Castillo steadied for a moment by the plate umpire Tim Timmons. Take a look at this. Oh my goodness, a lot going on here, and Souza seems to be in the middle of it all. One on, one out. Roller to short. Hardy, the second one. First base not in time. No chance for the double play with Souza's speed going down the line. And he'll be at first with 2 outs for Logan Morrison. Morrison has been on twice with a walk in the second inning, a single in the fifth that snapped an 0 for 10. He was called out on strikes in the fourth inning. Moved to first. Souza diving back in. Ball, no strikes. Tie game, 7th inning, 3-3. Two balls, no strikes. Gibbons, the third Baltimore pitcher of the night.
That was a goofy looking delivery there by Michael Gibbons.
Yeah, that was unlike any other delivery we've seen from him.
Yeah.
In this inning.
Oh, he slipped. He slipped. Yeah, forget the delivery in the arm. Watch the feet. Just a little bit on that push-off foot. Rotated a little bit, and that's what caused the odd throw.
So now it's a 3-ball, no strike count. Picks up in the corner, 3-1. Now you see something odd from a pitcher, and the first thing you think about is something physical.
With the arm, too.
Yep.
Absolutely, and it was such an odd arm angle way that he kind of pushed the ball that you're expecting him just to walk right to the dugout. That didn't look good at all, but just a slip.
And here's ball 4. It's wide, so up to second base goes Souza Jr. Two men on with 2 men out. Tim Beckham's going to be the hitter. Castillo spending some time with his pitcher Gibbons on the mound. Beckham tonight a single walked and grounded into a force play. He takes that first pitch for a strike.
A frisbee breaking ball to go along with the fastball. A couple different versions. We've seen it anywhere from 93 to 98.
Strike in mid-90s. 0-2. About that 78 to 98, the range for Givens. And that's a cut and a miss. Oh, moving right away from Beckham, and he strikes out. Rays leave 2. We're in the middle of the 7th. Our game tied 3-3. Back in Baltimore, where the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles move into the bottom of the 7th inning. Brian Anderson and Alex Cordray, Dwayne Stats, great to have you aboard tonight. Rays opened with a home run in the 1st inning from Corey Dickerson. Baltimore tied it with a run in the 3rd. Rays put 2 up in the 4th, and on back-to-back home runs by Kim and Scope in the 6th. The Orioles have tied this game, and now they come in to hit in the bottom of the 7th. Top of the order, Smith takes the first pitch for a strike. Seth Smith has been on twice with a double and a walk. Scored in the 3rd inning when he doubled with 1 out. Driven home by Chris Davis on a ground ball to first. Shift on for the Rays against Smith. And he hits it a long way, but well fouled. Out in front of that one by plenty. 2 strikes.
Find it, wait for it.
Perseverance paying off.
Right place at the right time.
There, the ball, 2 strikes.
Seth Smith really close to the plate and kind of leaning out over towards it. And this Fastball right here stands him right up.
Farquhar and Diaz in the bullpen. Rays without a lefty in the bullpen. Farquhar will tend to be utilized in the matchups with lefty, and now Smith is hit by a pitch. Fastball got him, and the Orioles on that hit batter put the leadoff man aboard.
5 walks and now a hit batter. And that was after getting the jump 0-2. Stood him up with the previous fastball. You see how close Smith is to the plate. And Archer goes right back in now, this time a little tighter. And it gets him. Boy, no padding either. That tricep took a shot.
First time tonight the Orioles have put the leadoff man on base. And they get down to the number 2 hitter, Adam Jones. Jones has been on base 3 times with a double, a walk, and a single.
And Brad Miller right there, that right side wide open with Logan Morrison holding on the runner. Start to think about that push bunt again.
And a long one to deep left field. Borges will run out of room. Gone. Adam Jones coming into this game was 4 for 32 off Archer. He has 3 hits and a walk tonight, including the 2-run home run to give them a 5-3 lead.
You know, there have been a number of sliders here as this game has moved on that have hung, and Chris Archer has not been hurt by them. This time he is.
Hit batter in the home run. The Rays are down by 2. Here's Manny Machado. Pitches a strike. Fourth home run of the year for Jones. Oh, 2. Shot back into deep right field. Souza Jr. just in front of the track makes the catch. Machado making a bid there. It's the first out in the bottom of the 7th. Chris Davis struck out his last time, has walked and driven in a run with a ground ball. First pitch is a strike. Garten up in the bullpen. One ball, one strike. Archer 102 pitches right now. One and 2. Davis is out on strikes. gone following the home run by Jones.
Slider down and in. That was the slider earlier in the game that had that great bite, that great depth.
Well, Archer over 100 pitches. Kevin Cash out of the dugout. 2 outs with the bases now empty here in the 7th. And Archer will depart after 6 2/3. Back with a new Rays pitcher in a moment.
The bottom of the 7th inning, and it was a mixed bag for Chris. You see the 5 earned runs, the 5 walks really is what jumps out at you. Also 5 strikeouts. You had plenty of good stuff tonight, but the command was lacking. You see there's that good slider. That early in the game, that thing had a lot of bite. The fastball was very good, and then all of a sudden command started to be elusive. With the 5 walks, that fastball catching a lot of plate there to HYUN Kim. And the very next pitch to Jonathan Scope, a fastball that's up and out away from him where he can get some extension. He drives it out to right field. And then after the hit by pitch, a hanging slider, and Adam Jones jumped all over it. And that was the 4th and 5th runs of the night.
So the Rays, who after 5 led 3-1, now trail by 2, 5-3. Ryan Garten coming in after the loss yesterday to Houston. On to face Mark Trumbo with 2 outs and the bases empty in the 7th. This pitch is upstairs. One-0 pitch. 1-1. Ball 2 strikes. For 3 tonight. And it's 2-2. Well, the damage by the Orioles occurred in a short span here over the 6th and 7th innings. There's 5 hitters, 1 out, 3 homers and a hit batter, and 4 runs later, it's 5-3.
And a familiar refrain that's getting a little bit frustrating. Jump out early, take a lead. You know, if the game gets tied, you add a couple more, take a 3-1 lead. A lot of opportunities, you know, some with 2 outs, but a lot of opportunities for the Rays to continue to tack on runs. Weren't able to do so, and then Baltimore just explodes here late.
Hit on the ground to short. Beckham with a long throw out at first, and the Rays will come in to hit in the 8th. They are down by 2. All right, fellas, thank you very much. And the point well taken. It all came apart for the Rays to this point in the span of 5 hitters and 13 pitches. It went from a 3-1 lead to a 5-3 deficit. And the Rays have 2 shots left as we go to the 8th. Not trying to burst your bubble, but the first 15,000 fans will be the only ones to receive the Bubble Blow and Longo, presented by Fox Sports Sun on Saturday, May 6th. Get there early and get yours before they're all gone. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com to be a part of the action. Peter Borges will lead off against Michael Givens. First pitch goes to the backstop, and that's ball 1. Well, the Rays will have to go to work here. It's a strike. It's 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes. Announced attendance tonight, 11,142.
Of which 8,000 decided to stay home. There was not that many people here tonight.
The lowest attendance at Camden Yards was here in 2010 when the Orioles and the Rays played in April. In 2010, 9,129. And there were some odds being taken on this cold and rainy night what the attendance would be. Burgess is out on strikes. Well, that one fired in there at 96 miles per hour by Michael Givens.
He really varies the speed on the fastball. And this one right here, he jumps on it, yanks that pitch right actually off the plate away. But Burgess quick with the swing.
Derek Norris. You know, here's another thought. Now, Givens, as we mentioned earlier, signed as an infielder, and they loved his arm, and they convinced him that the quickest way to the big leagues was as a pitcher. And when you think about it, it seems every year, almost every club is looking for more pitching. And I don't understand why there aren't more prospects in the minor leagues who struggle offensively but with good arms. Why there aren't more who they attempt to convert into pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. It would be, you know, talking to these different organizations and see if they would do that.
Because everybody's looking for pitching
every
year.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
You think about you got to believe that the Rays looking for some bullpen help after Xavier Cedeno goes down. Mm-hmm. You know, no lefty in the pen. I'm sure they're scouring everywhere for that. And so, get a strong arm like Michael Givens, and you see how he keeps his mechanics, you know, pretty simple. Gives you a little bit of a turn, but he's a bullpen guy exclusively out of the stretch. Obviously, there is some time you'd have to spend learning to pitch, but with a good arm.
And he's made this transition. He got to the big leagues in 2.5 years.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
But 2-2 count. I mean, as much as people almost pride themselves these days in thinking outside the box and trying to push the issue, I just have to believe that's something that more clubs would be interested in trying to do.
Well, especially because in convincing the player, you know, the thought is, if you don't do this, there's really not a future for you anymore because you can't hit.
Yeah, let's get to the big leagues.
And so you
help.
Yeah.
Two the count on Derek Norris. Fly ball, center field. Jones is there and makes the catch. So 2 gone, bases empty, top of the order due, which means that would be Corey Dickerson, and Buck Showalter has Hart, the left-hander, up in the bullpen, and he's going to go that way right now. By your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. By Jeep. Get great deals at the Jeep Spring Clearance event. And by Pinch a Penny, the perfect people for a perfect pool. Left-hander Donnie Hart in this game. Bases empty, 2 gone, and the left-handed bat of Corey Dickerson due up. Ricky Weeks Jr., however, has a bat. So he'll be called upon to hit against the lefty.
And really good numbers here for Donnie Hart. And when you see him deliver the ball to the plate, once again, start to think about variety, different styles. Donnie Hart's going to give you a lower arm angle.
Not a hard thrower at all, but a different look.
That's all it's about, different looks and deception.
So Weeks pinch hits. One ball, no strikes.
Let's go, Donnie!
Foul right back. 1-1.
As you think about Donnie Hart and his deception, you see where he's lined up. You can't really tell where on the rubber it is. It actually doesn't matter when you see how far he steps across his body. He strides towards the Oriole dugout and then comes whipping back around to make the pitch.
And another one foul right back into the screen. Yeah, there's some deception and all of that.
Hey, I can remember sitting down in Buck's office a few years ago and him asking me if I thought about maybe wanting to play again and coming back as a sidewinding lefty.
Yeah, you fit right in.
He wants this stuff.
Weeks goes down swinging. The Rays are out in the 8th. They trail by 2. And Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays at 9:30 till noon Eastern, only on FS1. Rays in Baltimore tonight. Down by a couple runs. Ryan Garton on the mound in relief. He'll face Wellington Castillo. Chris Archer worked 6 2/3. Gave up 5 runs, 3 home runs. And Castillo 0 for 3 after the fly ball to center in the 6th inning. And to strike the count on him here in the 8th. It's 1-1. Kim next and Scope to follow. Shot toward left center. Kiermaier with a pickup. Castillo on his way to second, and he is safe, getting there just ahead of the throw. Castillo's 6th double of the year.
The offensive side of Wellington Castillo makes an appearance here. Ryan Garton, that pitch looked like a cutter or a slider that hung. And Castillo gets it out there to left center field. Nice job by Kevin Kiermaier getting to that ball, throwing on the run, and making this a close play here at second base. Seen him do that a couple of times tonight. Got a strong arm. Make that throw athletically on the move.
Leadoff double, and here's Kim. Strike on the fastball. Kim hitting his first home run of the year in the 6th. The rain has suddenly intensified here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And this one slips away from Garton and pops away from Norris. And over to third goes Castillo. Ball slipped right out of Garton's hand.
Yes, it did.
So it goes as a wild pitch, allowing Castillo to go to third. The infield comes up. And now Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, is waving everybody in, and we're going to have a stoppage of play here at 10 minutes past the hour. The rain has intensified. We've had rain off and on, and the umpiring crew will converse with the groundskeeper here, and the rest of the groundskeeping crew will hurry to try to get the tarp out there to cover the mound and the plate area, and then cover the entire infield. And what we're seeing now is some of the rain we thought we might experience earlier tonight. Both these clubs have dodged the raindrops as best they could until now. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Leadoff double by Castillo. A move to third on a wild pitch, and with a 1-1 count on Kim, the tarp is being rolled out. And we're going to have a rain delay here from Baltimore. 5-3. The Orioles lead the Rays. Back in a moment. We welcome you back to Baltimore after this rain delay. We will continue play in the bottom of the 8th, and the Rays bring on HYUN to make his major league debut. With Castillo the runner at third, the infield will come in, and Who will inherit a 1-1 count here on Kim. And the pitch is a ball. So the major league debut for this 23-year-old right-hander out of Taiwan, who follows Garton to the hill. The pitch is a strike, 1-1. Who had been pitching at Durham, spent most of last year at AA Montgomery and had a good year as a starting pitcher for the Rays AA team, the Montgomery Biscuits. Count full. Ground ball right to the shortstop. Beckham makes the throw to first. Castillo remains at third. And Who retires, the first man he faces in the major leagues, getting Young-Soo Kim to ground out to Tim Beckham.
Well, the Rays have the infield in, and you can see the action on Who's pitches, which is why, you know, you can bring these guys in and hope to get the ground balls. We saw a 4-seam fastball at 93. We saw a couple of sinkers, 89, 90. That may have been either a BP fastball or a changeup, but good sinking action. That's exactly what you need in this situation.
Yeah, the reports are his changeup is a big part of his arsenal. First pitch is low to Schoop. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, that would make sense. The Rays have an affinity for that pitch. They encourage it. They fine-tune it. It's a big pitch for a lot of guys in this organization.
Two and 0. The Rays acquired Who from the Minnesota Twins organization. Kevin Jepson. It was in 2015. And the fastball right there had a little giddy up on it. That's impressive.
Had a lot of giddy up. We saw 93 earlier this inning. How about 95? Definitely caught Schoop by surprise.
Fly ball, center field. Kiermaier lines up to make the catch. The tag at third. Castillo heads to the plate, and he will score. That run charged to Garton. Schoop drives in his 2nd run of the night. The 6th run of the game for Baltimore. So they turn the double and the wild pitch into a run. On the fly ball to center, bases empty now with 2 outs. And J.J. Hardy is the hitter. Fly ball to left. Borges will go back, coming in a couple of steps now, and makes the catch. So the Orioles add a run. The Rays will have Kevin Kiermaier to lead off the 9th, down 6-3. We'll be with you tomorrow for the middle game of this series. Our coverage begins at 6:30. Erasmo Ramirez coming off an outing Thursday against the Tigers of 1-run, 2-hit baseball over 5 innings. He'll be on the hill. And we'll see where the Rays will be in this series as they come in to hit for the 9th inning, needing 3 to keep it going. And they'll face Brad Brock, an impressive right-hander making his 10th appearance.
And another guy that has a different set of mechanics. Throws across his body. He's tall and lanky. Very good stuff, power stuff. But a different look once again that comes out of this Oriole bullpen, and one of the big reasons why they've been so successful.
Craig Gentry takes over in left defensively. And Kevin Kiermaier leads it off. Kiermaier, Longoria, and Miller due up against Brock. Jimenez started. Nuno, Gibbons, Hart, and now Brock. Ball and a strike. Upstairs, 2-1. It's Longoria on deck. Brad Brock on the hill, 31 years old, made his first All-Star team last year.
Watch it. I don't know. Foul. That's a foul ball.
He's working here in the 9th inning with Zach Britton on the disabled list with a strain of the left forearm.
Got to be careful with those too. Expect them to be very, very cautious. You see how good he's been. 54 consecutive saves.
And strike 3 call. Fastball at the knees. Kiermaier parting word with Tim Timmons.
Now this ball very close. That's
Widened the
why.
zone.
Yes, he did.
Here's Evan Longoria. Baltimore pitching in double figures in the strikeout department.
And nothing new against the Rays.
Nope.
How many games have they had? I mean, they far and away lead the American League in strikeouts, and the number of double-digit games, pretty staggering.
2 balls, no strikes.
It's evil.
Miller on deck. The tap foul runs the count to 2-1. Fouls it back, and that squares the count on him at 2-2. Rays took an early lead, 1-0, then 3-1, and they trailed 6-3 in the 9th inning. Full count. Rays have struck out 214 times so far this year. And there's ball 4. Longoria draws the walk.
That's what you need is base runners. We've seen a number of home runs here tonight. You get a freebie there. You get Brad Miller to the plate. You got Sousa Jr. on deck.
Rays the only team in the American League to strike out over 200 times this year.
And Sousa Jr. is not on deck. Daniel Robertson is.
So Brad Miller steps in. Strike one. Two. Each team with 7 hits. Ground ball down to first, fair. Davis steps on the bag, and now Longoria pulls up, gets into the rundown. He's going to be tagged out. So the double play as a result of the ground ball to first and the rundown. And the Rays drop the first game to the Baltimore Orioles. It's a 6-3 final. First meeting of the year between these two clubs, and here's the final play.
Chris Davis right on top of the bag, and Evan Longoria just caught. That's it. Try to extend it as long as you can. Score.